Hello everyone and welcome back. It's almost the end of the winter season, but Winter Delight is all about the delicious food and comforting dishes to warm the soul. Even though it's not too cold in Mumbai, but I still love the cozy feeling in the air and chance to enjoy seasonal dishes. Today I am going to share some tasty recipes with you before winter ends. Well, when it comes to winter food, major time goes into cleaning and sorting the vegetables, especially the leafy one. My suggestion here is to bring in a variety of leaves but in smaller quantities to make this task feel less bulky. I am cleaning methi, but it implies on any other leafy vegetables. Once clean, I don't immediately wash them as it increases the chance of leaves rooting faster. Instead, I keep them covered with a cotton cloth and wash thoroughly right before using. I section the leaves according to my meal plan and keep them in an airtight container in the fridge. However, it's best to consume them within 2 days, else the leaves lose their nutrients. I rinse all the vegetables and especially the rooted vegetables which contain the sand particles and the dirt. Once I wash them thoroughly, then I keep them for dry and then store them in a fridge. Winter seasons comes with variety of food delicacies which keep your soul warm and delightful. Let's start with our first seasonal recipe. Here I am soaking some urad dal and chana dal. I wash dal 2 to 3 times under tap water and once with the drinking water. Then soaking the dal at least for 30 minutes. Then I take 2 to 3 whistles and I also add onions and tomatoes at the time of boiling to get the best flavors out of them. I also use variety of flours during winter like bajra, jowar and makki, which brings a great change in the taste and texture of our meal. But since it can get spoiled quickly, I bring it in small batches and make sure I consume them as soon as possible. Today I am making makki ka dhokla. It is a delicious Rajasthani dish made by using makki ka atta. It is a wholesome meal. Makki ka dhokla can be eaten with a green chutney, but usually in Rajasthan it is eaten with urad dal. It can taken as a main course for lunch as well as for dinner. This dhokla is a healthy food on account of high protein and easy to digest. It is also lower in fat content since the dhokla is mainly cooked by steaming. Also add fresh green peas and finely chopped coriander into the mixture. The most important part of dhokla is to kneading dough. Slowly add hot water in it and make a soft dough. Keep it aside for 10-15 minutes. Take a small portion from the dough and make a small ball rolling between your palms and pierce it in between by using your finger like a donut. Do it like the same for the rest of the dough and then now steam the dhokla for next 10 to 15 minutes until they are soft and spongy. This dish represents the culinary heritage and skills passes down through generations in Rajasthan. The recipe is often handed down from mothers to daughters, ensuring that traditional cooking methods and flavors are preserved and cherished. I have stolen this traditional recipe from my mom as she makes the yummiest and delicious dal dhokla. Among our families, it's often prepared during weekends and holidays as a way to unwind and enjoy wholesome meals together. It's not just food, it's about the joy of sharing laughter, stories, and building stronger bonds with loved ones around the dining table. For Marwadi household, serving makki ka dhokla to guests is a gesture of warmth and affection and showcasing the rich culinary heritage. The aroma of freshly steamed dhoklas fills the air, inviting everyone to the feast and create lasting memories of joy. Serving dal dhokla together creates a delightful combination of flavors and textures. The combination offers a balance of flavors, making it satisfying meal option. Serve it steaming hot. Topping dhokla with sesame oil add an extra layer of flavor and richness to the dish. It's a simple and effective way to serve a dish and to give it a traditional touch. So this winter season, don't forget to enjoy the goodness of this authentic dish. Another winter delight with leafy veggies is making seasonal sabzi. Gajar methi is perfect and very delicious combo to enjoy during winters. For the sabzi, start by washing the methi leaves thoroughly, then finally chop the methi leaves before using them in the recipe. Next, I will crush some ginger and garlic which will give good flavor to the sabzi. Carrots are rich in vitamin A and antioxidants, support vision and heart health, while methi, packed with iron and fiber, aids digestion and blood sugar control, offering a nutritious boost to our winter dishes. I love to elevate my winter meals with these wholesome seasonal veggies. In the carrots goes all the normal spices and then add little bit of water and then cook it covered. When carrots are half done, add a chopped methi. Now add salt and cook covered for another 5 minutes. Check the carrots are done and then add coriander leaves and then lemon juice in the end, and the gajar methi sabji is ready to serve. Our super tasty and delicious gajar methi sabji is ready to be packed for lunch. Enjoy the flavor of winter goodness with this seasonal sabzi. Another winter delight that is an absolute winner in my house is amla. Today, I will share two super delicious side dishes with amla that you can eat daily with your meals, and these recipes hardly take any time to cook and can last in your fridge for up to a week or even more than week. First, I will pressure cook amla until 2 whistles. So, first recipe I will be making is amla tapore. It is a kind of instant amla pickle and tastes super delicious. The only effort goes by making this dish is collect the spice mix. In a bowl, I will add ajwain, jeera, kalonji and some methi seeds. I kept everything ready beforehand. Now I will take half teaspoon yellow mustard and half teaspoon rye and crush them slightly with the help of mortar and pestle. Now for the masala, I will take all the powdered spices mentioned on the screen and keep them ready. Also chop some garlic as it gives flavor and aroma to the pickle. Amla once boiled, then let them cool down and de-seed them. Now let's make the tapore. In 1 teaspoon oil, add chopped garlic and all the seeds and saute for around 1 minute. Then add finely crushed mustard powder. Sauteing them for 1 minute, then add boiled amla. Now add salt and all the dry powder spices and mix everything very well and stir for 2 minutes. And Amla tapore is done. If you want, garnish them with some coriander leaf and take it out in airtight container. Store in fridge for up to a week, but I guarantee you it won't last that long. My another favorite amla side dish is amla chunda. I start by grating a boiled amla. To add flavors, a few whole spices goes in the chunda. So I will start by first collecting them. Now I will take a pan and dry roast all the whole spices for a minute and grind them. This will give a super burst of aroma and flavor. Also, I will grate 1 cup of fresh jaggery. You can also use powdered jaggery as well. For cooking chunda, start by sauteing amla in a pan. This step helps in taking the excess water out of the amla. Now add 1 cup of crushed jaggery. You can also add jaggery powder instead of this. As the jaggery melts, it releases the liquid consistency. Now at this stage, add the prepared spice mix. Saute them for a minute until whole spices release its flavor. Now into it goes some salt, black salt, red chili powder and garam masala, and mix everything well. Stir it for another 2 minutes and then add 1 teaspoon ginger powder as it helps to keep the body warm during winters. Now let the chunda simmer till it gets the thicker consistency. Also, I like to add some melon seeds into chunda, so I will dry roast them till they start popping up. Add them to the chunda and mix everything well. A super delicious and a healthy amla side dish is ready. As told before, store it in an airtight container in the fridge for up to a week. You can enjoy it with various parathas or add it in your daily meals. It's also best for traveling, and you can also enjoy it as after meal delights. It is super yummy and packed of multi-nutritions. So the next recipe I am making today is methi curry. For that I am taking 1 portion of methi leaves which I store in airtight container in fridge. I store methi leaves in 2 to 3 portions according to my meal plan. Cover them with a cotton cloth and make sure I will consume them within 2 days, else the leaves lose their nutrition. To prevent leaves from rotting, I wash them thoroughly right before using. Chopping methi leaves make them easier to eat and avoid the inconvenience during mealtime. Also enhance flavor and ensures that it blends into the curry well. Now I crush lots of garlic and some ginger and keep it aside. Now for curry mix, I will take 1 cup of curd and then add 1 spoon besan. Now into this add around 3 cups of water gradually. Now whisk the curry mixture until it achieves a smooth consistency. Now to cook curry, I will take 1 teaspoon ghee in a kadai. You can even take oil as well. Then add methi seeds and after 5 seconds add mustard seeds, dry red chili, curry leaves and green chilies and crushed ginger garlic paste. Saute for 1 minute. Now add chopped methi leaves and again saute it for 1 minute. In goes lot of hing and red chili powder and give everything a last mix. Now sieve the curry mixture and keep stirring till the curry starts boiling. Let it simmer on slow heat for 15 minutes before adding the final tadka. For tadka, I will saute some mustard seeds and kasuri methi in some ghee. Then add red chili powder and add it into the curry. It's so aromatic and gives the richness to the flavor of curry. And at last, add some salt and give it a quick boil and garnish with lot of coriander and my curry is ready. With methi curry, today I am making jowar roti. So let's dive into the art of making jowar roti. It's a rustic delight perfect for winter meals. I start by taking a small portion of dough for 2 to 3 chapatis to ensure the freshness of the dough. Now I will take some warm water and gradually add into jowar flour and knead the soft dough until it's smooth consistency. With the gentle pressure of the hands, I will try to achieve the desired consistency of the dough. I will knead the dough very well for another 5 minutes and get the perfect dough for jowar roti. To prepare chapati, take a dough ball and roll it in a dry flour. For jowar chapatis, gently pat and spread the dough to avoid breakage. Cook it on a hot tawa. Add water to prevent drying the top layer of the chapati. Once it's half toasted from both the sides, then toast it on direct flame. Round and nicely puffed jowar roti is ready. Serving a chapati is no-brainer, but for Rajasthani, crafting millet roti is an art. It requires patience, skill, and traditional touch. Cultural food represents the heritage which passed down through generations with care and pride. And the comforting thali of winter is ready, which gives the warmth to the soul. Next recipe is a healthy and a delicious breakfast or a snack option that ensures to delight your taste buds. The hero ingredient of this dish is sweet potato, which packed with the wholesomeness of vitamin, fiber and delicious flavor. First cut the sweet potatoes in appropriate pieces. Now with the help of fork make the holes in it to ensure that it gets steamed properly. Instead of boiling them, I choose the healthier option to steam the sweet potatoes as well. For the chaat, I have finely chopped a generous amount of fresh coriander, adding vibrant color and refreshing flavor to every bite. Also keep aside a handful of peanuts which give satisfying crunch to the chaat. Steaming sweet potatoes preserve their nutrients, flavors and texture better than other cooking methods. It's a low-calorie option that maintains digestive health and maximizes their nutrition value. After potatoes get steamed well, allow them to cool down before chopping them into bite-sized pieces. Transfer a portion of the chopped sweet potatoes into a bowl to being assembling a chaat. Add splash of mint and coriander chutney to the bowl to infuse a refreshing hint of tanginess. Sprinkle some pomegranate along with chaat masala. To enhance crunch and nutty flavors, sprinkle handful of peanuts and pumpkin seeds. Drizzle some fresh lemon juice over the top, which give the tangy kick to the flavors. Gently mix all the ingredients well. Finish off the chaat by garnishing lot of fresh coriander. For an extra boost of nutrition and a delightful crunch, sprinkle some flax seeds over the chaat. It's rich in omega-3 fatty acids and fiber to enhance health benefit. At last, garnish with some beetroot and ginger slices, which give vibrant color, freshness, and a hint of spiciness to elevate the visual appeal and flavor profile of the dish. So, mouth-watering sweet potato chaat is ready to delight your taste buds. Serve it to enjoy the burst of flavors in every bite. Moving towards our next recipe is seasonal favorite haldi matar sabzi. This sabzi is winter delicacy as fresh turmeric infuses the vibrant color and earthy flavors while tender peas add sweetness and texture. I start by finely chopping fresh turmeric into the chopper. You can also crush them with the help of grater. Next, in a kadai, take a generous amount of ghee and add all the finely chopped turmeric, as this sabji is traditionally made in ghee, imparting the richness and depth of flavor. Till haldi get cooked, I will chop some ginger, garlic and onions and keep them aside for a while. I also chopped some tomatoes. After haldi get half cooked, add chopped ginger, garlic and onions. Cook them for 2 to 3 minutes until they release their flavors. Now take a portion of curd and whisk it thoroughly and keep it aside to get it into room temperature. Now it's time to add tomatoes to our flavorful mixture. Add salt and all the spices mentioned on the screen. Give all the ingredients a good mix, ensuring that the flavors blend together. Now I will take a bowl of fresh seasonal green peas. These vibrant and fresh green peas elevate the dish with a natural sweetness and satisfying crunch. Now add a bowl of peas to the haldi mixture. While you have an option to crush them too, but I prefer to add the fresh peas whole, allowing their nutrient integrity to shine through and infuse our dish with a delightful burst. Add generous amount of hot water to the mixture, allowing the ingredients to simmer and melt down. Till the haldi matar sabji is cooking, I quickly chopped some fresh green chilies for making mirchi ki tapore. It's an essential side dish in every Marwadi household. It's my favorite instant pickle which I love to enjoy with my daily meals. This recipe is so easy and quick to prepare with some simple and basic ingredients. In generous amount of oil goes all the seeds mentioned onto the screen and then add all the chopped green chilies. Mix all the ingredients well and let it cook for 2 to 3 minutes. Now on the other side, it's time to add curd to our haldi matar sabzi. Stir it continuously for 2 to 3 minutes until the curd gets mixed. Now let it cook for another 5 minutes until the ghee gets separated from the gravy. Coming back to our mirchi ki tapore, add salt and all the basic spices mentioned on the screen. Mix together all the ingredients, allowing their flavors to blend together. Quick and easy mirchi ki tapore is ready to enjoy, which is a fusion of taste and aroma which surely invites your appetite. Our delicious haldi matar sabji is also ready. Sprinkle some freshly chopped coriander. This authentic sabji of Rajasthan, often cooked during winters to give the warmth to the soul. Next, I am going to share you a simple trick to make a perfect paratha for traveling. Into 2 cups of wheat flour, add half glass of milk instead of water to knead the dough. Knead it well until you achieve a smooth consistency. Now with gentle hands, knead the dough until it gets binds. Milk helps to keep the parathas soft and fresh for longer period, making them perfect travel companion. Another type of paratha I am making today is methi masala paratha. During winters, I never make normal dough. I always prefer to add some kind of leaf as it is the easiest way to add some nutrition into diet. In 2 cup of whole wheat flour, add 1 cup of besan, salt and cumin seeds. Also add some finely ground ginger and garlic into the dough. Now add all the basic spices as mentioned on the screen. Also add some dry kasuri methi to give flavors. Now into this goes 2 spoons of curd, add some oil and then add all the fresh methi leaves. First mix all the dry ingredients with your hands and then gradually add water to make a soft dough. Now toast parathas on hot tawa from both the sides with some ghee or oil. I always prefer to take homemade food while traveling, which ensure the comfort diet and healthy meals on the journey. Especially while traveling to Rajasthan on long journeys with unfamiliar surroundings, we love to enjoy homemade meals. It enhances the travel experience and cherishes the memories created during journey. I made these methi parathas on our on-go lunch on train during our recent visit to Rajasthan. These parathas packed with the flavor and provide an convenient and satisfying meal option. Since childhood, we love to enjoy paratha rolls paired with some seasonal pickle. It's our childhood delight packed with the goodness of flavors and wholesome of memories in every bite. Soft and delicious parathas are ready to pack for travel. When it comes to travel food packing, I always apply a simple yet effective tip. First tip is I use OD Uniwrap food wrap for packing my food. It's biodegradable and healthier option to keep the food fresh for longer time. I cut them according to the portions I needed to pack my parathas. Next tip is to pack parathas in multiple batches. This method ensures that when opened during mealtime, the parathas retain their softness and freshness. It also helps to maintain the quality of food throughout the journey. Hope you find the tips I have shared helpful for your next travel meal. Don't forget to try them out and make your next journey more easy and convenient. So with all these recipes, I hope you found this vlog useful, and if you did, don't forget to comment your suggestions. Also comment down your favorite recipes which you want to try before the winter seasons get end. Also feel free to share your versions of recipes with me. I love to know them. If you like my videos, don't forget to subscribe my channel. Let me know which recipe you are tempted to try. Join me on Instagram for some behind the scenes, and I will see you in my next vlog. Until then, stay tuned and stay connected.